summary in here, and now I'm regretting it.
No, I can pretty much gather from what I remember watching on the trailers and whatnot. Little boy loves music, but it's kind of like outlawed in his family because of what a previous member of the family did.
Yep.
And then he finds his grandfather's guitar in the basement.
Nope. He didn't find his grandfather's. Well, he built a guitar on his own, and then his grandmother destroys the guitar because she found out that he's been playing. So there's this musician that he idolizes, basically, whose name is very Spanish, and that's one of the reasons why I wish. Come on.
If you show me the name, I can probably pronounce it.
No, I can pronounce it. It's IMDb is being really crazy right now and auto scrolling for some reason. Okay, here it is. His name is Ernesto de la Cruz. So Ernesto de la Cruz is a singer that he idolizes who passed away years before he was born, and he wants to play at a big talent show in the town center. But his family obviously is telling him, no, you're not allowed to play. Music is banned. So he runs away from his family. He says, I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. You just forget about me. And he runs away. And he goes to a museum, De La Cruz Museum, that's honoring De La Cruz, and takes his guitar so he can go play in that talent show. And from there, he starts seeing, or as soon as he grabs the guitar, he starts seeing ghosts of all his family members and all these other ghosts that are around him. And this is the Day of the Dead, all happening on the Day of the Dead, which is a Mexican religious holiday.
De la Muerte, right?
Muertos de...
I have just broken him. Yes.
So it's not that, but either way.
Yeah, okay. They'll probably fix it for us in the chat.
Dias de la Muerte or something, I don't know. But either way, this is the Day of the Dead where you put out a picture of a loved one and you talk about them, light a candle, and supposedly that loved one will come visit you on the Day of the Dead. And he has one for all of his cousins, his uncles, and everybody. But he's got a mother, grandmother, and a great-grandmother. And his great-grandmother, one of the reasons why they banned music, this isn't a spoiler or anything, but one of the reasons why they banned this music is because her father was a musician, and he chose music over his family. He left his family so he can go off and perform. And that from then on, his great-grandmother, who's the daughter of that musician, has always had music banned from them. Okay. Yeah, that's a brief summary without getting into any spoilers of Coco, and I hope I didn't confuse anybody.
Okay.
Did you understand it from my description?
Oh, yeah, I understood it perfectly.
Okay. So, that being said, this is my favorite movie of the year.
Ooh.
This is probably my favorite Pixar movie, right next to Toy Story.
Wow.
So, that's saying a lot.
That is saying a whole lot.
This is probably one of the best animated movies as far as animation ever. This is absolutely gorgeous. And this movie's full of... It's a really funny movie, but it's really dark. It's a little darker than a normal Disney animated movie.
Well, that's par for the course of most Pixar movies.
Right. And it's par for the course for the subject matter, too. So, that...
You can't have a movie about death and then not touch on it.
Yes. And it's a very emotional movie. I had heard from a lot of people that saying that bring tissues or something, you're going to cry. And closer and closer to the ending that I got, it's like, well, I'm not crying yet. It's like, I feel like I could, but I'm not quite there. And I get to the last 10 minutes of the movie, and I'm bawling like a baby. It's like, oh, this is where it's happening.
I was like, oh, it's happening here. Oh. So you're going to make me a liar. All right.
I was like, maybe it just didn't get me like it's supposed to.
I said, no, you know what? I'm choked up, but I ain't got that. And here we are.
There it is. There it is.
Yep. Bring the napkins. Bring the tissues. Yep, we're here.
Yeah. So, but but like I said, visually, this Land of the Dead, I believe is what they call it, that he shows up in is, it's kind of like, I'd say it's a little bit like the Blade Runner style, where it's like just a huge neon paradise. It's gorgeous. And the animation that they use for some of the family members of his, like the non-dead ones, is kind of frightening. They look like giant. They have these giant heads, especially his grandmother and great grandmother. They look very creepy a little bit, but it's still pretty cool and realistic. Then the textures in this movie are really well done. Like there's some parts where he's in water, and it looks ultra realistic. You wouldn't believe that it was done by a computer. It felt like it was animated over top of real life textures, but apparently this was all completely animated, which is amazing. But I'd say where the movie's weakest points would have to only be some of the music. There's some really good songs in here. The songs are really good. I just feel like they're forgettable. I think the only time that Pixar's ever really done music really well was in the first Toy Story. I think those songs are the ones that we were going to remember forever. Whereas these songs you're kind of forget as soon as you leave the theater, which is a little not. It's kind of not like Disney, those Disney movies.
Which is kind of disappointing considering that music plays a theme in the story.
Right. The music plays such a huge part of the story where you're going to kind of forget about everything, which is a little ironic because the main song in this movie is called Remember Me. And you're I think it's because I was probably crying during one of the last performances of that song. But that's okay, though.
I kind of wish I saw this with him.
Yes.
Because we've probably been crying on each other's shoulders or something.
Yeah, this was definitely...
and like, we've challenged each other. Don't do it. Don't. And then I hissed and the tears coming out of his eyes and it started coming out of my eyes. And like, well, you know what? We lost. All right.
Now, this has nothing to do with the movie itself. But before I saw this movie, there was an animated short.
Oh, I was about to ask you about this.
And it was not very short. This movie was 21 minutes. Olaf's Frozen Christmas. I didn't hate that short, but I can see why other people did. You're going to a movie that starts at 7 o'clock, and you're not going to see it until 8, because you're going to have almost 30 minutes of trailers, then you're going to sit through an almost 30-minute animated short, where this isn't really even the time where they usually show those ones, because that's a Disney animated short, where I'm going to see a Pixar movie, you usually see those 3 to 5 minute Pixar shorts. So I would much rather have seen a Pixar short than another one of Frozen. Where, and this is another thing, if this was to test the waters for whether audiences are ready for a Frozen 2, I don't think we're ready for it yet. I think it's a little too soon, because some of the stuff that they try to play off of in this movie, to play off of some of your I guess your feelings from the first one, they do a lot of callbacks, and it's like, yeah, I'm still a little annoyed after seeing this movie about 50 times with my nieces and nephews. I'm not ready for another one yet.
The problem is you're not the target audience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was for the first one. I loved the first Frozen.
It's but you never were the target audience.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'll admit it.
The little girls are the target audience, hence why they still make Frozen toys.
Yeah.
Here's something you need to know now. Remember a few years back they had that short called Frozen Fever?
Yeah.
They made toys based on that.
Oh, apparently they've made toys off of like the brand new outfits that they put in this movie. They've already got them in stores. They had them in stores the day Coco came out.
They got enough merchandise and they're selling enough merchandise. Well, they can drop Frozen 2 tomorrow and people will go.
And the sad part about this is also that I had seen more marketing for this short than I did for Coco. They had this poster outside the theater months ago, and they didn't have any Coco poster outside the theaters.
That's intriguing.
Yeah. So I forgot that they were putting in front of Coco. I'll admit that, because I wasn't looking forward to seeing this day in the first place.
So you know what you just sat through, right?
What's that?
You just sat through a yearly tradition now.
No, what's that?
Olaf's Frozen Christmas. You don't think they're gonna play that on TV every
Oh
year?
yeah. See, now that's where I was gonna say this probably would have been better received if this was played on ABC or something, or
Like,
Disney Channel or something.
After they played both the prep and landings.
Yeah, if they did it for after the Macy's Day Parade or something.
Yeah,
it would have been more appropriate.
By the way, prep and landing and prep and landing Naughty or Nice, I enjoy both of those very very much.
Okay.
Have you ever watched those?
Nope.
They're it's about a team of elves that get the house ready for Santa. Before he gets to your house.
I may have seen the first one. Now I think about it.
They prep the house for Santa's arrival.
Okay.
And in the sequel, they lose the Naughty or Nice. One of them gets their Naughty or Nice scanner stolen, and the little kid hacks it to mark every child naughty at once, so no one gets anything for Christmas. So they have to go find the child who did this. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
But that's besides the point.
Right.
Coco.
So, anyways, Coco. What do I give it?
Yes. Said it was
I'm
your
giving
favorite
this-
movie of the year. I'm expecting nothing lower than a 10.
It is a 10 out of 10.
All right.
You are correct. I was very pleased with this movie. If the weakest thing in this movie was just that some of the songs were a little forgettable, that's forgivable for the emotional ride I went through with this movie and how beautiful this movie looked on the screen. Definitely a 10 out of 10. Will recommend. Have you guys seen Coco? What'd you think of it? And let us know in the comments. So we will move along to